Welcome Aquarius, Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au with your October reading. The first of the month is an important one. We've got a new moon taking place very near the planet Jupiter. This new moon is taking place in your ninth house. Ninth house is the higher mind. Ninth house is education. Ninth house is travels, long distance journeys. All of these things are under the jurisdiction of the ninth house. So when we see this new moon taking place, we know straight away that something is opening out for you. There's a whole new leash of energy, a whole new attitudinal shift, I guess I could say, to specifically these areas, but not limited to these areas or departments of your life. Jupiter in the ninth house gives very favourable journeys. It is also a legal combination. The ninth house of your horoscope is Libra. Libra, if you're not aware of it, has a totem that is the scales of justice. So it is very much in your case related to the judiciary, lawyers, justice as such. It's also higher education and philosophy. So a lot of these things are going to start to come to the fore in your life. And some of you may sort of think, well, that's not really what I'm interested in, but this is not just spirituality in the New Age sense. I have a broader sort of view of what spirituality is, in the sense that it has to do with the attitude of selfless attention that you bring to the work or the hobby or the relationships, for example, even the circumstances that you're in. That is what I mean by that. And strangely, that attitude has a very tonifying effect, a very positive and productive effect on anything that you touch, if you bring that sort of attention and love and awareness to it. So that's why I say this month is very, very significant. On the practical level, of course, there are opportunities for some of you. If you're planning a holiday, that's likely. If you're planning to change your study course, for some of you it could be the beginning of studies if you're at that age. And being in the company of Jupiter, this is all exceptionally good. That takes place on the first of the month. The opposite side of this celestial event is the full moon that takes place on the 16th. And that is happening in your third house. Again, another studious sector of the horoscope. It is the third house, which has to do with the reasoning mind. It has to do with short journeys. That again influences the ninth house. And Uranus is transiting through this area. So for some of you, some of these journeys, some of these changes, some of these new opportunities are going to happen quite suddenly. Quite unexpected. These are surprises. These are the surprise aspects. A new moon there, Uranus. And this, of course, will also present some challenges, because we see the planet Mars transiting your 12th house at this point in time, and that will be challenged by the full moon taking place in the third house of your horoscope. So what it means is that for you to achieve this, you have to exert a lot of energy. There could be some challenges there with people. Mars also has to do with your siblings and neighborhood, the immediate neighborhood. So when you have this challenging aspect, for some of you there could be some disputes or misunderstandings with those in your neighborhood or your locale. You may not be feeling comfortable about what's happening in your environment. So these are the sorts of things you need to talk about. As I said earlier, this judicial legal thing, I'm just wondering whether that may have to do with some environmental factors too. The third house has to do with the environment. For some of you that are active in terms of, making things greener, if you know what I mean, you might be drawn into some marches, some sort of activism against the government, and you need to be careful of that you find balance in your life against what it is you can do for the greater whole. Because as they say, charity begins at home, and that 12th house has a lot to do with charity. 12th house also has to do with injuries of these people I just mentioned, neighbours, friends, relatives, younger siblings. 12th house is hospitals. So there may indeed be some connections this month with someone that's injured or not feeling particularly well. So you'll be called upon to render maybe some service in that respect. 12th house, Aquarius, is also to do with, we talked about long distance journeys. 12th house is to do with relocation. Some of you may be thinking about getting the hell out of where you live and making a completely new start. And that's likely with the new moon being in the 9th house. So this could be a journey for the purpose of figuring out whether or not it's time for you to make a permanent break from the locality that you actually live in. Mercury is another one of your positive planets. We see that that's located in the 8th house as the month commences, with a passing conjunction to the North Node, which has to do with shared resources and finances. That moves away from that on the 7th into the sign of Libra, back into conjunction with Jupiter, the positive Jupiter and new moon that I'm talking about. So what we see there is an open communication. And as I just mentioned about Mars, if you're planning some change or move away from where you are, this is the time when you'll be corresponding, emailing and doing that sort of thing. If it's a journey, this could be the time when you purchase your tickets, start your planning. Mercury's full steam ahead now. It was in retrogression. I might have mentioned to you last month that there could have been some setback with that. Well, now we see that you've got the green light, the thumbs up to maybe move forward, and that's all very, very positive for you. The 9th house is excellent. Then we see also Venus and your best planet up there in the 10th house, bringing with it lots of success, lots of opportunity, and a social mingling, if I could put it that way. There's an overlap there between your social activities and your professional activities. So it's all positive, and you should use that energy as much as you can up until the 18th, which is just after the full moon that we talked about. You'll gain some good contacts in this period. You'll gain good reputation, and at the same time you're going to have a lot of fun because Venus is a sociable planet. We see some little problems there with Venus, talking about that. It moves into the 11th house of friendships. Some problems could ensue there with the right angle to the North Node on the 28th and then on the 30th of conjunction to Saturn, your ruling planet. But that actually has a positive upside as well, in that it brings with it considerable profits, being the 11th house. Saturn, one of your rulers, and Venus being the planet of property and fortune in the 11th house does, I would say, bring with it some increased income at the end of the month, which is a great way to top off the month of October. I'm hoping you'll be here again next month. Don't forget, I was talking in the introduction video, if you want to have a look at that, on what I call destiny engineering, which is the way forward to find out from your horoscope exactly what we need to do to remedy those difficult planets. And there are esoteric methods which I've been instructed in over 20 years in India to show you how to do that. These are secrets that I don't divulge too openly here on the public channel, but for those of you that are interested, by all means email me, and then we can start the process of engineering the destiny you want. Astrology.com.au for your textual reading for the month. We've got a more detailed analysis there, and I hope it's a wonderful one for you till I see you next month here, same time, same channel. Take care now. Bye-bye.